Viewers and subscribers, welcome back to Beat in the Press podcast. I am your host, Rafa. Now, coming up in this evening's podcast, we're going to be reviewing the big matches which took place over the weekend. Manchester United. Is this another nail in the Ten Hag coffin? Going down 3-0 to Spurs. And of course, there was a shootout over there at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea getting the better of Brighton, 4 goals to 2. Now, joining me this evening to review these matches and to talk some EPL football, we have returning to the podcast, Sir Cole.
Blessings, everyone.
We also have resident analyst, Christoph.
Good to be back, viewers.
Yes, gents, let's kick the ball off. Let's get the ball rolling. Sir Cole, theater of dreams or theater of nightmares? What's going on over there at Old Trafford? 3-0 to Spurs. Talk to us.
Well, a loss was always on the cards. I really didn't expect a 3-0 scoreline. Expected us to at least get on the score sheet. It's a really humbling defeat, I think. A lot of questions will now resurface about the leadership of the manager at this point, I think.
Well, I mean, Sir Cole, this isn't anything new to the Manchester faithful. Didn't Liverpool batter Man United at home 3-0 also? I mean, this is a recurring scoreline. Home in front of the fans. How much more can the United fans take?
Well, I don't know. We have won 2 trophies over the last 2 seasons, and
that
maybe
seemed to be what Ten Hag is talking on. Come on. At some point in time, the fans must wake up and smell the fresh air that Ten Hag seemingly is not necessarily the man to take this club forward, and changes should be coming in short order, in all honesty, because even if he staves off being sacked, as soon as Manchester United suffer another big defeat, the vultures will come circling again. Christoph, what says you? How did you see that one? Was it that Spurs outclass Manchester United, or did that red card have a detrimental impact on the outcome of this game?
Um, Spurs was the better team coming into it, and I had said it that I think it's two teams that whose form can be erratic on the day, and you don't know who or what you're going to get on the day sometimes. But I said coming into this game that I think Spurs has the better players, the better manager, and I was giving them the edge to win. I think I said 2-0. But it turned out to be 3-0. Before the red card, the game in terms of possession and chances was probably relatively even. But that lightning quick counter attack from Spurs was just utterly devastating. I'm actually a bit shocked that you could get a cross along the ground inside the 6 yard box straight across the face of the keeper like that not being saved and for Brennan Johnson to basically run onto an open goal. It's quite shocking, to be honest.
Well, that burst from Van der Veen seemed to have taken the Manchester United players by surprise. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not the
quite shocking.
first time he's making such a run, in all honesty. There was an identical goal sometime last season, I believe it was against Everton, where similarly he intercepted a ball at the top of his 18-yard box and made a run from box to box, only to supply Son with a ball to pretty much finish. So this is not the first time that Van der Veen is making these long busting runs and getting a result at the end of it. So, I mean, that was definitely a devastating blow for Manchester United, Sir Cole. I mean, another team would have just taken him out, taken a professional foul, but he just ran past everyone to pass to a easy tap in,
Yeah,
as we would say.
very well. Onana off his line. I don't know what Onana was doing, to be honest, but I guess he said, "Yeah, my defenders aren't doing anything. Maybe I need to step out." But it was a brilliant goal by Tottenham, but it was so sloppy defending by Manchester United, to be honest. And like I said, before that red card, it was relatively even aside from that goal. United was creating chances and just not getting the finishes. That Garnacho chance at the back post. That really should have scored. Not
Well,
to take
that
away
was a
from the
very
keeping.
difficult technique, to
It
be
was a
honest.
difficult technique, but I mean, I also don't want to take away from like the keeper. He got there quickly. I think it was the post in the end, but the keeper was there. Got over quickly. Impressive stuff to me. Again, I say Garnacho is the man for United, and they need to be using up. As you can see, he did not get subbed. All right, they subbed other
Well,
players
I mean,
because
when
they
you're
know
down to 10,
Garnacho is
then
the
you have to
outlet.
make adjustments. But Christoph, you're constantly beating the referees. Talk to us about that red card decision. Was it the right call? Or did the refs get it wrong again?
I understand why it was a red card, but I feel like after reviewing it in VAR, they potentially should have awarded a yellow. I mean, the player did slip. I mean, it was still stupid of Bruno Fernandes to push out his foot like that, studs up. But I feel like after you watch the review, the VAR review, you should have said, hey, let's change the decision to a yellow.
Or
I don't
even bring the referee to the screen?
to the
What
screen.
says you do, Circle? Oh,
Not
you
hearing
seem
you.
to be on mute there, Circle.
Sorry, yeah. Yeah, I said I agree with Christoph. I really don't think it was a red card offense. Maybe in real time it looked worse than it really was. Um, Madison for sure didn't think it was a red card either. I don't think many persons were appealing for a red card. It was just a very cynical kind of challenge, which was misinterpreted by the referee, and he just chose to give a red, and wrongly so, in my opinion.
Well, I don't think Madison's reaction helped the situation either, Circle. He was there rolling on the ground as if his leg were broken. He was taken out. I didn't
Well,
think his reaction helped the situation.
Well, the thing is, he was caught, so it probably there's a natural reaction to really being fouled.
These guys need to
So
be in Hollywood, Circle.
no, but if fact is, if fine, it was a foul and a cardable foul. But as to whether it was a red card, it's a totally different thing. I don't think Madison's reaction or Madison's after the red card was issued, his reaction, his speech with Bruno, I don't think there's any ill will between the two.
No,
I understood that.
I'm not even talking. I'm talking
Mm.
about when he was on the ground, the immediate
Mm.
fall. He was rolling around as if he got a
Fine.
devastating hit.
And I'm saying that players roll around even when they're not hit any at all. So
Well, Hollywood Circle,
yeah,
Hollywood.
so
These guys
it's just
belong
a
in
part of
Hollywood.
the part of the modern game. In when there is potential contact, players are already on the down, balling out and things. So it's just a part of the game.
Parts and parcels of the game. And I'm sure
Yeah.
if the roles were reversed, we could have expected the same thing from a Bruno.
From any player in any
Well,
league.
we've seen the Bruno reactions, so I wouldn't necessarily say any player in the league circle. You still have some what you would classify as some honest players around, so to speak, who are not going to stay down unless they are seriously hurt. But more and more, we see the prima donnas. As soon as you're blown on, you're holding your face when you got hit in the stomach, hoping to get a player dismissed or sent off. And I
Yeah,
think
but I
Madison's
mean,
intention to some extent was for that, to get a reaction from
no,
the referee.
I don't think necessarily it was. In fact, is
Well, not
he was
necessarily a
fouled.
red, but some
Mm.
reaction.
Yeah, man, fine. So the reaction he was looking for, I don't think was red. It probably was a bit of
Well,
overkill by the referee. He would have been okay with a yellow.
so what's the consensus? Good call or poor call?
Poor call.
Poor call.
Yeah,
So
but
that
for
ultimately
me,
killed off the game then, Circle. It's
no,
hard
man,
to
no, no,
assess
no.
the United performance thereafter.
No, I must say he really killed off the game because really and truly, I don't really agree with Christoph that it was very even. I think we were
Oh, it
being
was
outplayed
even. I
from.
thought it was even before the card. Before the card.
Fine. I'm saying I don't think it was. I'm thinking that but Prosper had us against the ropes from very early.
Well,
No,
That's
that
my
goal
take on
no,
came
it.
fairly early in the game as well. That
I,
opening goal.
I, I agree that
No,
Spurs was definitely the better
mm,
team, but
team.
in terms of possession and chance creation and so on, I thought the game was even.
Well, maybe so, but
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, a goal was early, but the card was a bit later on. So the card wasn't really what I say changed the game. And I mean, we have seen many teams being a man down and play well, so it's not really an excuse as to why the result was really what it was.
indeed, indeed. But Circle, looking on, what's next for United? What says you? Should Ten Hag remain in place, or should the United hierarchy start exploring the possibility of a replacement at this point in time?
Well,
What says
I
you?
think from
Trust the
I think
process?
I think they had already started to explore the possibility from summer as well, because persons were already calling for his head. Mind you, the FA Cup win, I think, gave him a stay of execution. So he still remaining in the job. Actually got a contract extension, I believe. But I believe the vultures are circling again, and pretty soon another decision will have to be made.
But what says you? Which corner are you in as a Manchester United fan circle? Do you say trust the process, or do you say sack Ten Hag?
just as with the with this decision in summer, I'm good with either. I think there's a reason to support either decision, whether he's sacked or not. So I have really taken a firm decision on it,
Oh,
either
so
way.
you're on the fence then as it relates to this
On the
particular.
fence, yes.
Mm. Well, you know where I stand. I say keep Ten Hag. The longer Ten Hag is in at Manchester United, we definitely know Manchester United is not gonna pulling up any stumps in any real time. So I say keep Ten Hag. Let him even give him a throw in a contract extension. Throw in a contract extension, but these results will continue, I believe, under Ten Hag, even with the wealth of players he has brought in, it's same old. I can hardly see any real differences in terms of patterns of play from Manchester United of last season compared to this season. And other teams, other manager are new, and we can definitely see their imprint on those teams. And eventually the results are coming. Spurs is a classic case of that. They may not have gotten off to the best of starts, but as I mentioned in the preview, when you look at the team circle and how they play, you see the chances being created. It's just a matter of time until they get it right. If you create enough chances, players of this quality will
Well,
eventually put away one or
true.
two.
Truth be told, if you're to look at the points table, had Man U won this game, would have been 3 points ahead of Spurs. Either way, so with all
Small
the
margins.
philosophy and the pretty of football and creating chances, had Man U won this game, even
But
without
that that
philosophy,
that
without
that's the key.
pattern,
That's the
we
key
would have
term
been
right
three
there, Sir Cole.
points ahead of Spurs. So
But that is the key point. It takes one win, one loss, or one draw to really break the camel's back, so to speak.
no man,
For
it is
want of a
still,
better word. I
but
mean, at the
it
end
is
of the
still
day, the
early
fans
days.
are looking at the points tally. The majority of fans, at least. Hence the reason why he is. I mean, a lot of Manchester United fans
Fine, but I
are
mean,
burning jerseys and I mean,
but I mean,
interesting, fickle fans, I would say.
as they say in local parlance, do not watch your noise in the market. What you say. So I
Indeed,
mean,
indeed.
as management, you can really be focused on the noise that the fans are making. You have to be a bit more objective and look at things a bit more objectively.
Definitely interesting times ahead over there at Old Trafford. Interesting times ahead indeed. But we move to Stamford Bridge, Christoph. The Chelsea train continues to roll on. Talk to us about that one. That man, Cole Palmer, Christoph. We spoke about Cole Palmer early in the season, and we were asking, can he replicate the form of last year? And all those questions are currently being answered. This man is the genuine article.
It would appear so. Cole Palmer, 4 goals is, very impressive. Not a lot of
No easy
players.
feat.
No easy feat. Not a lot. First half hat trick. And then getting that fourth goal. Not a lot of players managed to score 4 goals in a single game. Not a lot of players get hat tricks, much less
Not a
four
lot of players even get 4 goals within a season.
a season. So it's very impressive. Keep rolling on for him. It does open up the questions. What does Chelsea do if Cole Palmer is unable to play a game? Injury or they need to rest him for some reason.
Possible
Is it
suspension as well.
our suspension? What happens to Chelsea if Cole Palmer is the only outlet for them at the moment?
Well, while they have him around, he is definitely getting the job done. And I must say, it was a good fight from Brighton, in all honesty. The scoreline does not tell the true picture, in my opinion, because Brighton did come to play some football and they did get on the score sheet twice. And it could have been more if not for some very good saves by the Chelsea keeper as well. So the
I
scoreline
mean,
may have read 4-2, but I
Brighton.
think it probably overflattered the performance that Chelsea gave.
I mean, Brighton dominated possession, right? So Brighton had roughly 60% of possession, but I feel like, and not just feel like, the 2 goals that Brighton scored were from, stupid plays from Chelsea around at the back.
Ah, indeed, it was
It was just
calamitous for
stupid
the
plays.
first one, I must say. That
Both
first
of
goal
them,
was rather
both of
calamitous.
them were rather calamitous, to be honest. Both of them were some stupid defensive errors that should not happen.
So the Chelsea defense definitely need to be worked on. All is not necessarily well, but the results are coming, Sir Cole. What can we say about this Chelsea team? Are there still any question marks in your mind about this team, Sir Cole? Are the coach has found the right formula?
While it is still early, I would say at least attacking wise, yes, for sure. I've been seeing Chelsea play a few times. I've been convinced that yes, that they are ready at attacking wise. As for Cole Palmer, what can I say? Having seen his performances last season, I was already convinced from last season. You can't put up such numbers, and it's just a fluke thing. You understand? I think he has been outstanding and will continue to be outstanding in the league for years to come.
Can he now get a start for England is the question, Sir Cole. Can he? Can he get a start for England? I mean, we often see these numbers. He was putting up these numbers last season and he could not get a sniff in when
Gareth
Gareth
Southgate.
Southgate was in charge.
Gareth Southgate
Southgate
was
is
a
no longer there. Can he
Gareth
now start
Southgate
for
was a
England?
was a was a madman. He wasted, yeah, Gareth Southgate wasted his time at England. We saw some slow, steady progress his first couple of years, but then after that, you realize that he's playing way too safe, afraid to play attacking football. I mean,
When
currently
he
he's
has
not.
the attacking players at his disposal, it's not as if you're putting
Yeah,
round squares in
yeah.
square
He
holes.
he had all that attacking potential that he has allowed to go to
Yeah,
waste. So.
unleash the dragon, unleash the lion, Circle. Why tame the lion? Unleash the 3 lions and let them feast. But the
Well,
circus master has now departed. Can the
exactly.
three
So
lion find
so we
their
now look
roar?
forward. We now look forward to a new beginning under a new manager and wait to see what he will offer to the team.
Indeed. And of course, we saw a big upset, I would say, over there at St. James's Park, Circle, Manchester City, being held by Newcastle. Talk to us. I really did not see that result coming, in all honesty. I had predicted a routine Man City win, but Newcastle had other plans.
Newcastle is a team which on their day can get the tactics spot on. We saw them able to hold out Haaland, probably first time not registered any attacking returns since the start of the league. The mistakes some doing because he's a man in fine form. So they did their homework, and it has gotten them a point which I don't think many teams will get throughout the season.
Indeed. So the question marks now start to be asked, Christoph. We spoke about this in the last review when Rodri went down injured. Can Man City sustain throughout the season with no Rodri out for the entirety of the EPL season? Can they sustain their attack and their defense and grind out some result? That is the question. First game after the Rodri injury, and they are coming up short with the answers. Liverpool now leads the league, a team which was once considered non-contenders is leading the way. The best defense in the league currently.
Who
Top.
said Liverpool was non-contenders?
Well, I mean, the big talk was Man City and Arsenal going into this one, but Liverpool
I
is
don't
making
recall
some
hearing
nice.
anybody. I don't recall hearing anybody say that Liverpool were not contenders.
Well, all the punditry I'm hearing
I mean,
has
obviously
Man
you're
City or
going to
Arsenal as the
consider
two big
the
contenders.
two teams who were first and second. You're going to say are definitely contenders, but it's too
Mm.
early to rule out any of the other big teams.
So do you give Liverpool a fighting chance in this year's run for the title?
I mean, Liverpool had the league title last season and battled it, so yeah, I don't know. It's too early to say. They have a chance. It's very early in the season.
Mm,
The table is close. You
well,
know, capitalizing and like you said, the absence of Rodri over the season. But it's
right,
not just
right.
Rodri that was absent. It was also Kevin De Bruyne out, so that could have had an effect. Plus, watching that game, it looks to me like Newcastle, kind of was watching Arsenal and seeing what Arsenal did well and kind of use that as their template in their game with more, counter-attacking impotence. But also, Newcastle, well, it doesn't appear to me that Newcastle was playing against 15 men like Arsenal did. Um, but
Well,
yeah,
well, well. Remember, Arsenal was also down to 10. Newcastle
right,
had
yeah,
all
they were down
11
to 10 and playing
on the
against
field.
15 men, so
Well, Well, definitely a good result for Newcastle. I'm sure Pep would not have wanted to go there and get a draw. I'm sure he would have entered that game looking for all 3 points. But Newcastle had other ideas. But as you rightfully say, it is early in the season and all teams are still involved. It is tightly packed up there at the top of the table. However, we can now start to see the cream rising to the top, the table starting to take shape. My game week 10, we should have a clear idea of where the teams are now positioning themselves. Manchester United, I must say, Sir Cole, another disappointing run. And they are way down in the league table around 14th, 15th. Uh,
13th actually.
Oh, 13th. I thought Bournemouth had gone ahead of them since their win since today. But 13th it is. Tough times ahead, tough times ahead. But Liverpool, Sir Cole, talk to us about that Liverpool win over Wolves. You had predicted 3 plus, another battering, but it was closer than one would have thought.
Yeah, it didn't really sit in the game, but yes, I did expect a more convincing scoreline. But in the end, it doesn't always go as you see it. And importantly, it's a 3 point that matters, which Liverpool will still manage to get.
Yes, yes. A sloppy goal, I would say, from the league's top defensive team currently. Sir Cole, a really shabby goal. One would have expected better from the likes of a Kanate, who have been winning a number of aerial duels. He leads the league in terms of aerial duels won, and he was trying to usher the ball out. Miscommunication there with Allison, and it let in a Wolves goal. Of course, Kanate was the one who got that goal for Liverpool as well. But some shaky defensive work there, and this would have acted as a wake-up call. But that man again, Christoph Gravenberch, I had already said this man looks like a potential player of the season. And he grabbed another man of the match award again.
player of the season for Liverpool.
Well, 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 Liverpool is a start, but right now in the league, I don't see a better midfielder operating right now than a Birch in his
Cole Palmer.
position as a defensive midfielder. As a defensive midfielder, Cole Palmer more operates as a attacking midfielder or
Uh,
a classic
Declan
number
Rice
10, so to speak. But Gravenberch is outperforming all other defensive mids in the league currently. And
in terms of
another
what? His defending, his passing, or what metric are you using?
overall, all
Overall, okay.
metrics, all metrics, interception, defensive work, passing, carrying the ball, creating chances. This man is doing everything. He's like a machine. He's like the Haaland version in the midfield. This man is a machine. Slot has really unleashed him when compared to the sort of
That's
play
a
that Klopp was getting out of him last season.
that's
This
a
man is a
wild
linchpin
comparison.
in the Liverpool team currently, the first name on the team sheet. And I'm not sure how Liverpool will cope if he is not in the team, if he gets injured, suspended, or, for any long period of time. It's going to be hard to replace a man like that. That was one of the positions that many said Liverpool needed to strengthen, upon going into this season. But Slot has found solution in the form of Gravenberch. Endo right now cannot see the starting 11, and it's the performances which are keeping him out. So quite impressive, I must say, by how he is being utilized. And speaking of utilization, I'm not sure if you guys had seen that Everton game, but Everton coming up 2-1 winners over Crystal Palace. And it was some shrewd, what should I say, player utilization by Sean Dyche, Sir Cole, which led to that victory, bringing Dwight McNeil from the flanks and playing him in that number 10 role was a genius move. Dwight McNeil came up with 2 goals playing in that role, and subsequently Everton won their first game of the season.
Well, fine. All credit and kudos out to the management for getting it right. This time around, we have seen 5 times in the past where their ideas have not worked. So the law of averages
Well,
dictates that at some point, it will go right. So let's see how many times it does go right in the upcoming games in the future.
Definitely. I mean, I believe Sean Dyche is a top manager, Sir Cole. Oftentimes he's given a basket to carry water, so to speak. He's operating on a shoestring budget with less talent, I would say, but his coaching, his work ethic, his footballing knowledge and philosophy has really improved the players he has at his disposal, and his man management skills is uncomparable, I would say. I would take a Sean Dyche any day of the week, to be honest. A top manager working with a
Uh,
very limited budget, in all honesty.
you would take him at Liverpool in the event that
Right
Arne
now,
Slot
but
leaves.
because of his Everton affiliations, it might be a difficult sell. But any other club circle, I believe Sean Dyche is that good. And because he operates at a Everton, because he's not usually getting the headlines, his talents goes unnoticed. But when he compared to other managers in the league and the sort of financial outlay, the sort of spread, he is getting the results on a shoestring budget. I say bring in Sean Dyche circle and out with Ten Hag over there at United.
I will send in my resume ahead of Sean Dyche. Maybe I can get a look in.
Indeed,
Perhaps
indeed.
you can't win if you don't buy a ticket.
Thank
That
you.
is true. That is true. That is true. But definitely some other interesting results. I mean, Arsenal, Christoph, talk to us about that Arsenal victory coming up over Leicester City. I mean, I think the scoreline flattered Arsenal 4-2, but if you really watch that game, it was deep into extra time that Arsenal actually came up with those winners.
Yeah, I think if you didn't watch the game, then you would think maybe Arsenal were excellent, and they weren't. They played below their level. They had a good first half. They scored those 2 goals. They played well. Leicester really didn't have much to say in the first half, but then second half letting in a soft goal from a set piece. I think it was a deflection of a Kai Havertz. And the second goal from Leicester. While the goal itself was a beauty, you know, a brilliant
Quality, sir.
strike,
Quality, Christoph.
quality,
Quality.
quality. The
Possible goal
manner,
contender.
possibly, possibly, the manner in which they conceded the goal is I think reason for concern and something Arteta should be thinking about. Because I don't know if it's a case where halftime the concentration dropped, the maybe Arsenal got complacent or what, but I don't know. Something for them to think about, something for Arteta to think about and talk about with the team. The bright side is, they did not give up. They did not resign themselves to only getting 1 point, and they continued working, and they got that set piece goal, that winner. After being accused of being masters of the dark arts, digging out a win out of a drawn game, so to speak.
Indeed, but I mean, should it have gone down to the wire is the question, I
No,
mean, a team of
no.
Arsenal's quality, a
That's
team
why I
which is a
said,
potential
there is
contender.
what I saw, and Arteta should be concerned with how they gave up those two goals. Like I said, first goal, soft, should not
Right, right.
have happened, but same thing with the second goal. Even though it was a quality strike, the manner in which they conceded it was poor.
Yeah, it seems as if the Arsenal defense, Christoph, has dropped off somewhat this season when compared to last. What says you, and what's the possible reason for that? If you check the numbers, they're conceding more goals right now, and in fact, they've lost the title of best defensive team in the league. That title now belongs to Liverpool through the last 6 games. What's
Well,
the rationale behind them dropping off from a defensive point of view, where they are now
well,
conceding more goals?
in terms of this game here specifically, it's
Right,
not the back four that played last season. Last season it
right.
was Ben White,
But it seems as if with
Saliba.
Zinchenko, the team is performing worse. And with without Zinchenko, the team is conceding more, Christoph.
No, the team is not conceding exceedingly more than they did.
Yeah, but
You have to
marginally
remember
more.
these are
Um,
also new
I
players
thought
who are still slotting in.
Zinchenko's absence was supposed to improve the defensive unit, but it seems as if it's working in the opposite direction.
No, I have not seen that so
Well,
far.
I mean, 6 games have
When
been
when
played.
when Zinchenko plays, we see that teams target him and they play on that left hand side and that left flank. So far, I haven't seen any goals coming from that left flank.
Well, that is true. That is true. But it's a conversation for another time, Christoph. We're quickly running out of time. Viewers and subscribers, Sir Cole, Christoph, thanks again for passing through and sharing your thoughts and your opinions. Viewers and subscribers, thanks again for tuning in. And of course, continue to share, like, and if you haven't subscribed as yet, hit that subscription bell. But until next time, this is Rafa signing off.